What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. World of Wrestling here today to discuss about the AEW Double or Nothing 2022 review. I see that there's nobody here, so I'm doing basically a live show with no one in the audience. So I guess maybe some people will show up, have a conversation with me in the chat, something like that. Um, Personally, guys, I think that for future shows like AEW, I may be doing live watch alongs. May go ahead and watch it off of my cell phone and chat with you guys in person while the show is on the air and give you guys my total insight. I can also give you guys in depth analysis about what's going on during the match and so forth. So I can give you guys my personal opinion as it's going along, which one of the subs on this channel asked me if I would do something like that, and I think I'm going to for future pay-per-view. I'm not going to do that for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view event, specifically because we're going to have the next day. I'm going to have work the next day, so I just do not want to do all that. I mean, with how long this show went, I can't believe it almost went till 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, after I moved my Xbox out of the dining room, I was gonna watch it with my roommate, and I moved my Xbox. And man, after I got done with all that, it's 12:52. I've only been live on the air for only 2 minutes, man. This is crazy. This is way, way too much wrestling. Was the show entertaining? Oh, hell yeah, it was. This was an excellent fucking show. But the amount of time it takes to. But I will say this, despite the amount of time we had to sit through this long, drawn out pay per view, I will say the main event was the best match on the entire show. Hands down. Great storyline telling, great matchup, and both men legitimately look like they were trying to kill each other. I wouldn't want either one of them get killed. I mean, the crowd loved them both. Both of them were getting a lot of love from the crowd. Uh, I mean, it was back and forth throughout the entire match. This pay-per-view overall was awesome, but way too long. This is like watching WrestleMania every 4 months, man. They need to do 2-night events or cut it down to 8 to 9 matches and leave it at that, because this is way, way too much wrestling. 13 matches overall. That is insane. You don't need all those matches to do an entire show. I'm dead serious about that. I think that is utterly ridiculous and overkill. But despite all that, this show had a lot of positives than negatives. The second negative I will point out about this show was there was way too many multi-men matches. The one of the biggest ones that I thought was absolutely ridiculous was the match with Jericho Appreciation Society and Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston Santana Ortiz. That match was outrageously insane. Did the shit hit the fan? Yeah, it did. That's what Justin Roberts said initially before he made the announcements of the different competitors that are in the match. But bottom line, guys, we didn't need all of this chaos and insanity. I mean, it lived up to the slogan, "Hey, this is a Anarchy Arena" type of match. But I was expecting it to be at the ring, and it wasn't. It was like all over the place. Completely insane. So I just really was like, what the fuck, man? I mean, everybody was bleeding, everybody was cut up and shit. It looked like I was watching. If you guys ever watched DCW back in the day, they had New Jack, and every time New Jack was in the ring, his music would play, and he'd hit everybody with stop signs, steel chairs, every weapon he could get his hands on. That's basically what this match looked like for majority of the match until mid portion, and then everything kind of went to normal. And Jericho pulled out the sound system and turned it off, so it would actually be a legit matchup, despite the fact it was all over the place in Insanity. Kingston also wanted to take out Gasoline and light Jericho on fire, which I thought was absolutely barbaric, but it lived up to the title of what they were trying to tell. I'll get into the end result of that match in just a bit, but man, this show was just way too fucking long. And the biggest thing was MJF, which now we'll just get into the entire match card in order here so I can get off here and go relax because man, this was way too much for me. Kind of glad there's really nobody in the chat right now. If there was, this show would be going for a long period of time. I swear this would be a very long video. I think it'd go almost 2 hours total. But yeah, I can't sit and talk about this all night long. I want to be able to relax and then go to sleep. So let's get right into it. We had Hook and Danhausen defeating Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Nothing big here. It lasted only 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I wouldn't even grade it for being anything all that important. The whatchamacallit, the very first match was Wardlow and MJF. Now, folks, I know I posted a video earlier today about that, and I said that MJF, if he doesn't show up, he's being very unprofessional. And if he doesn't show up, I hope it's a fan. He missed out on that and cost people some money. And that was set with the situation of AEW and the direction they're going with him with his negotiation contract. Apparently, he wants more money, but they are not able to give it to him at this time until his contract is up. So he's being very impatient. So it's just a lot of immaturity. He's being very immature, basically, on MJF's part. I think that he needs to chill the fuck out. I know he's young. I'm 34 years old, so I'm actually older than the mofo. And I'll tell you this much. He's in a lot better situation than most people in the United States. A lot of us are fighting for our lives. Some of us barely living and struggling to put a roof over our heads. So I mean, for him to be sitting there being so concerned about making more money when he's already doing pretty well for himself, he ought to take it easy and chill the fuck out. Because there's a lot of people in this country that are struggling to survive. He's in pretty much, I would say, close to the 1%. So I wouldn't be too concerned if I was in his shoes. That's just my feelings on that. I could understand if he was only making, I don't know, 50K and he was throwing his body around. I'd say he'd have a reason to complain, but he's not making middle class money, and even 50K a year is not considered to be middle class with this inflation that we got going on in this country right now. So MJF needs to take it down a notch and chill the fuck out. He's going to make his money and he's going to be where he wants to be later on after his contract's up. And if he's so that immature to deal with the situation now, then he don't deserve to be in AEW, who's actually successful, had their highest grossing pay-per-view in their existence, and every single time they show up, they deliver on their show. So there ain't no reason for MJF to be bitching about what he is making right now, because he's making more than most people make on a yearly basis. Bottom line. Anyway, his match was actually rather a squash match. He got defeated by Wardlow in a very, very defeated. I mean, he got demolished. There was no question about it. He was crushed. So I personally am glad he got his ass kicked. Wardlow did look a little silly in this match. I will say that. He went for multiple power bombs and he ended up going ahead and delivering a lot more. I think close to 10, and then finally he pinned him. I personally was saying, what are you doing? Like, go for the pinfall and then deliver more power bombs after the win. But he actually did not. And thankfully, they didn't make him look like a moron, and they had him continue to do the power bombs and finish him off. So that's basically it. I got two comments here. I'll go ahead and read them off. Christopher Carter says, well, I'm happy for CM Punk winning the AEW title. I am too. I think either men deserve to be the winner of that match. They both are champions in my book. They delivered a great matchup, and I have no complaints about that main event. That main event made it for that entire pay-per-view. I don't give a shit if they had an entire show mediocre to average, and then this match was the only good match, because this match made it for me with the purchase of $49.99. Bottom line, man. Hands down, no question. Best match on the card. Rachel Buck says, do you think MJF is going to WWE now? Because I think he'll be perfect in WWE the way they treated him tonight. Maybe he might not sign and he might go to WWE because JD was talking about it. Rachel Buck, I'm sorry to tell you, but I already mentioned this and I'll mention it again. The man is making more money than most people in this country right now, and he shouldn't be so concerned about it. I could understand if he was making 50K a year and throwing his body around the way he does and the expenses he has to make to travel. But the man is making more than most people make on a yearly basis. I honestly think he needs to chill out and stop being immature. That is his problem. Personally, I think that he has a lot to offer to this company. I see that they will put a jetpack to his back and soar him to the freaking moon. And I don't think he's treating AEW with the proper respect. He's being very immature and unprofessional in my book. And for him not to show up there, I don't see why he needs to do this. He's getting what he wants. He's gonna get what he wants in the future. CM Punk's the champion. There ain't nobody in that company that's going to take that title from Punk outside of MJF. Hands down. There's nobody storyline wise you can go with. MJF is gonna be fine. He's gonna be world champion, and they're gonna give him his money. Hands down. I don't see any other reason why he wouldn't get his money, get the title, and be this face of AEW, because he is the face of AEW, no question. But the immaturity that he's giving us, I don't particularly like. I think it is very poor, and I honestly don't believe WWE would even tolerate this shit. And they're pretty, unprofessional their own selves, and they wouldn't like what this guy's doing with them if he was unhappy with them, personally. CEO of Berserk says, I've seen a bunch of people mad over CM Punk winning the title, but I have no problem with it personally. Yeah, I haven't heard of anyone being upset about it, but if they are, tough shit, man. This guy has gone from hating wrestling to getting right back into it. He's a very entertaining wrestler. He delivers good product, good wrestling. This match with Hangman Page, hands down, was probably his best match in AEW at this point. And he's had some pretty good ones, but this one was the best. I don't see anyone, and I mean anyone, can say that that was a bad match. If you say that was a bad match, you're absolutely positively insane. Bottom line, man. I know I'm saying bottom line quite a few times, but that's just the way I feel, man. Rachel Buck's asking, who do you see WWE signing from AEW? I don't know. I'm not particularly concerned about that, honestly, Rachel. I know you're a WWE fan over in AEW. I don't know if you watch the pay-per-view or anything. I appreciate that you're respectful here on this channel with me. and everyone else who are AEW fans, because I know most of you guys are AEW fans, so I appreciate that. But I'm not really, I can't really say. I don't know. Maybe Jericho possibly will go back to WWE, but I doubt it. I mean, tonight he won, so I don't see why he would end up going back to WWE after what they've done with him. WWE, Rachel, is going down the toilet. I mean, everybody from the McMahons are leaving the company. Stephanie McMahon just left. Nick Khan is really looking to become the owner of this company and trying to take over power within the company. That's the way I see it. So, Rachel, I don't know if we're even going to see a WWE in the next year or so. I really don't. I've heard that Drew McIntyre was dancing and on a SmackDown show yesterday or Friday, excuse me. Um, I just don't know how WWE is still even around at this point with how horrible this show is. These shows have been with WWE. Raw and SmackDown are the worst, and NXT's right behind them. So I don't know. I really don't. Anyway, moving on. Christopher Carter says, no, Rachel, no MJF is staying AEW. CM Punk versus MJF will have a match for AEW. Book the match. Yes, Christopher, I am in 100% agreement with you, bro. I do not want to see anyone else, um, you know, going going to WWE because they may be pushed in the same limelight as Cody, as a Seth Rollins, or as a Roman Reigns, possibly. I mean, MJF, I will admit, if WWE is smart, they'd make him the replacement of Roman Reigns. See, MJF needs to become the Roman Reigns for AEW. That's the way I see it. So, you know, I think it would be crazy if they didn't give MJF the proper respect, but MJF needs to give that back to them. And he's not lately, and I'm actually really upset with him right now. I hope he changes his attitude and gets a little bit more mature. But right now I think he's acting like a child in a way with this whole situation. Ella Mester says, dude, Double or Nothing was amazing. Pay-per-view of the year, possibly. Probably, yeah. I mean, it was an overstacked match card. I think they could have dropped it down to 8 to 9 matches. I think that is the proper amount of matches you should see on a pay-per-view that goes 4 hours. If they're going to do 13 matches, they need to do a 2-night show like WrestleMania has been doing for the last 2 years or 3 years, I should say, and do it that way because it'll make lives easier for everybody. I think they'd make even more money doing it that way if they wanted to do it that way. But personally, I don't see the point of having 13 matches on one night. That's just overkill to me. LMester also states, I love AEW. I love the anarchy in the arena. And he also says, I think Jericho is never going to WWE. Obviously, like I stated earlier, I don't think he's going there either. He'd have to be crazy or he's just on his last pitiful legs and he wants to get a big buck payoff at the end of his career where he's going to retire or something. Rachel Buck says, but look what they're doing with Cody. Cody Rhodes is going to win the title. Trust me, he's going to make WWE the best. I'm not denying that with you. I think MJF will be pushed in WWE like Cody, but he's not going to be part of a winning team. And I'm sorry to disagree with you on WWE. I used to be a huge WWE fan. I'm tired of my intelligence being insulted, and I don't feel comfortable with supporting a product that don't value their customers, man. You know, I mean, I'm glad you're a full-blown supporter for them and all that. I wish you would see the light here with the way the company's treating you and everyone else that continues to follow this product. Nobody in this chat, I believe, really truly hate WWE. We just dislike them for what they've been doing over the last couple of years. And it's really insulting to us, the fans, who have been supportive of their product for many, many years. That is the reason why AEW exists at this point in time, because WWE's dropped the ball with their customers. So Tony Khan is just picking up the pieces and putting it back together again and fixing the way wrestling should be. And that's all there is to it. Ella Monster says that honestly, WWE sucks right now. AEW is the big leagues. Rachel, you really need to see Dynamite on Wednesday night this week on TBS. Um, yeah, Ella Monster, I have to agree with you. Rachel Buck, you have to give AEW a chance. If you haven't watched AEW, I don't know why you haven't. I'm glad everybody is not shitting on Rachel Buck because she's a WWE fan. I don't want anyone shitting on her. She's not, rude or anything. She just wants us to see what she's seeing, and we're not seeing it. That's the only issue that us here in this channel with you, Rachel Buck, is we just don't see it the same way you are. I'm glad you're entertained by it in some capacity. I'm not. That's all there is to it. And I'm not going to be mean or nasty to you because you've been very respectful here on this channel. Um, CEO of Berserk says MJF is very good heel, but is a very unprofessional person. Yeah, he is. He's being very unprofessional. This is not a Sasha Banks Naomi type of situation. He is getting the proper respect he deserves. He's getting that world championship one way or another. At least I hope so. And MJF doesn't blow up for himself. That would be retarded. I mean, the payoff he's going to get by beating CM Punk by the end of this year is going to be amazing. He needs to get on a hot winning streak. I have to admit that. He's been on a little bit of a losing streak as of late, and I haven't liked that very much. If that's why he's mad, I could understand it, but to walk out on FanFest just because of that, I don't know, man. That seems a little kind of a dick bag move. But, it is what it is. He's going to do what he's going to do. We're going to, express our opinions about it, whether we like it or not. And that's just the way it's going to be. Ellen Master says, man, what a comeback story for CM Punk. Yeah, I totally agree. This match was amazing. Hands down, there was nothing about this match that was bad. If anyone thought this match sucked, you got to be on fucking drugs. Rachel Buck says the top champions for the rest of the year will be Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, and they will make the best in the world. Make WWE the best make the best in WWE in the world. If you say so, Rachel. I mean, again, I'm not gonna continue to fight back and forth with you. About it. I personally do not like WWE. I've wanted to follow their product because it helps out the channel a lot, but they make it so poor. It's like literally you just have no interest in watching it. I literally cannot watch the freaking product. It's so fucking terrible. I'm sorry, but I just don't agree with you, Rachel. I hope you don't dislike me for it, but that's just the way I feel. CEO of Berserk, I still play WWE games and watch sometimes, but the show has dropped in quality. Obviously, man. I mean, if you want to go back and watch the Road to WrestleMania reviews that I did for Raw and SmackDown, I mean, literally, I don't even know how I managed to get through those 3 months. And I tried my damnedest to continue to do that week after week for both shows, plus doing AEW Dynamite and Rampage shows. And let me tell you, it's no easy cakewalk, man. It is hard as hell to continuously go through that on a weekly basis. I mean, I'm having a hard enough time trying to keep up with the weekly shows I do here, plus also Impact and AEW shows. I haven't done an Impact review in the last 2 weeks. I haven't watched Impact in the last 2 weeks. So I've missed the last 2 episodes, which I need to go back eventually sometime this week and watch both of them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a review, but I may have to cut Impact Wrestling out of my review, except for doing monthly pay-per-views or something like that. Because I got a lot on my plate. I got work I got to do. I mean, I can't keep up with everything that's going on. This is not my full-time job. I wish it was. I mean, I love wrestling, but I got a job. I work like 8, 9 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So, I mean, I can't spend all my time just, watching wrestling and doing reviews. I just don't have the time to do it. And I'd like to have a life besides watching wrestling. So that's just kind of why I haven't been uploading Impact Wrestling. As you guys may have known, I didn't upload a pay per view of the week episode either. Kind of cut that out of the weekly schedule. That was only temporarily temporary. Tomorrow I will upload a pay per view of the week episode. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested in hearing what I have to say on some retro review pay-per-view event, but that's pretty much it. Rachel Buck, corrected what she was saying. The top champions of the world will be Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, and then it will be the lead commander of Imperium. Um, so you're saying Walter now Gunther or whatever he's being his name is now pronounced as. I don't know what the fuck his name's pronounced as. But yeah, if they want to make Walter champion, I'd be all for that. That I would possibly even catch and follow along once in a while. I may actually tune in for that. But that's pretty much it. Daniel wants to ask me, did you enjoy Double or Nothing tonight? Yes, I did. Did you watch the actual pay-per-view? Do you have a chance to watch it, purchase it, or stream it online? Well, without having to pay. Um, CEO of Berserk says Gunther might win the Intercontinental Championship soon. Wow, he's going to beat Ricochet for the title? Amazing. Like, that's not surprising. I would imagine that would be a very smart decision on their part since they're not doing anything good with Ricochet anyway. Maybe they ought to cut Ricochet and let him go somewhere else where it would be appreciated and used properly. How about that, WWE? Sound like a good idea to you guys? I think it is to me. Shit, man. Anyway, let me get into the matches, man. I've only covered Wardlow and MJF, and we've gone about almost 30 minutes. I don't want to go 2 hours. I did that for WrestleMania 38, night 1 and night 2. I'm not doing it again. The second match on the card was the Hardy Boys and the Young Bucks. This match was awesome. This was a very entertaining matchup. By the way, Wardlow and MJF, I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5 stars, a complete squash match beyond belief. And it MJF didn't even have a chance in this match, which kind of worries me a little bit. But yeah, Hardy's and the Young Bucks. This was a back and forth competition between these two teams. Very solid action. There was a lot of total tornado tag team wrestling taking place, which this match wasn't technically supposed to be. The referee was supposed to do his job and step in and slow things down and get like two competitors in the ring for each team to be in the match. But fortunately, the referee didn't do his job very well. So it kind of brought the match down a little bit. But since there was only 4 guys in the match and there was 2 tag teams, it didn't make it all that big of a deal and make it hard to follow. So it was a fun little action-packed match that could have been utilized in a much more big stipulation match. So um that is my overall feelings on that. This match, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Very solid, entertaining stuff here. Uh Ella Mester is asking, we need to get to Anarchy. Okay. What, you got to go to bed early or something? Because I'm not even close to that. That's like near to the end of the show. I'll give you my thoughts now since you requested it. Just out of courtesy to you, man. Since you're always following me on the channel and commenting here and there throughout the videos that I upload on a weekly basis. Jericho Appreciation Society actually defeated the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz. Basically, this match it lived up to its it lived up to its to its s- uh what the fuck stipulation, the slogan of the match. But for me and Elemester, I know that you said you enjoyed the crap out of this match. Me personally, I did to a certain extent, but there were some things that I found that was a little chaotic for me to even follow. There's too many guys. There's 10 men competing. This is a multi-man fiasco, and everybody's all over the place. We had John Moxley's theme song playing while this was going on. Like I said earlier, this was like watching a New Jack match from ECW, having his music play and the guy's hitting everybody with freaking stop signs and every other weapon he could put his hands on. So that's kind of what this match was like until Jericho turned the music off completely when he was fighting with John Moxley outside. Now, everything else, though, I mean, it was fun. There was a Eddie Kingston was the most barbaric one of them all. I mean, he literally came out with blood pouring down his face practically. He had a gasoline tank in his hand, ready to pour gasoline on Jericho and was going to light his ass on fire. And Brian Daniels steps in and stops him from doing that. I don't know. I mean, they're always talking about being violent. That is the whole slogan for the Blackpool Combat Club. And for some strange reason, Brian Danielson decided not to be as violent as he could have been by lighting him on fire. I guess apparently death is not part of their idea of violence. Uh okay, you're going up against a group of scumbags who have literally he put his face on fire with a fireball because now Jericho's some so-called wizard. But apparently he thought that that was wrong to do after his face was burnt by a fireball from Jericho and the JAS. Give me a fucking break, man. I would have done the same thing Kingston did. I would have knocked Brian Danielson's fucking head off. That's just the way I feel about that. But everything else broke down. Brian Danielson was actually really cool in this spot too. I think it was Jericho. He said, "I'm gonna kick his fucking face." And I'm like, "What the hell? This is coming from Brian Danielson. This guy would never say shit like this. I've never even heard him say something like saying the f bomb on a AEW pay per view or any AEW show." I've heard him say shit. Of course, everybody in that promotion says that because they're allowed to. But him saying I'm gonna kick his fucking head off now is like, what? This is not the Brian Danielson I'm used to. Usually he's more, professional, very clean cut, wrestler, and he's a technician wrestler, but here he just came across like a barbaric nutcase. So I mean, this was pretty crazy to see, and eventually it led to him getting hit in the leg by Jake Hager with the baseball bat and aiming for his knee, and then he just went ahead and unleashed uh more shots with the baseball bat. This led to Jericho applying the walls of Jericho on Brian Danielson, leading to him having to tap out and submit. And that was the end of the match. So that's how the match ended. Elemester, my rating on that, in case you need to go early, my feelings on that, this match is a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Because it was pretty barbaric. It lived up to its name, but it also was a little too much shit going on. It was all over the place. It was really insane. But I will give it a fair enough rating to say 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is close to a 7 out of 10. Um so that's just kind of how I feel, and I'm sorry if I don't agree with you 100% all the way on what you're you're saying or how you felt about that match, but I just kind of feel differently. All right, let me get into some of the comments here. Daniel says, I feel bad for Ricochet since they never did good for him since called up. He should go back to New Japan Wrestling and have some fun matches again, like he used to with Will Ospreay. Yeah, I think New Japan Wrestling would do him good. Impact Wrestling would be a great place for him to wrestle in the X division with Trey Miguel and a few others. So I think he would benefit for going to someone else. It doesn't even have to be AEW even. So yeah, that's just how I feel about that. Rachel Buck says the only way I will watch AEW and when WWE shuts down, like you said, if they bring all the wrestlers from WWE to AEW. That's including Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and others. Um, I don't think they're going to be able to fit all those people, Rachel. I really apologize, but I don't think they're going to be able to fit all of them. Becky Lynch, she has become really too much of a self-centered person. I don't know if this is really her or this is how she's supposed to be portrayed on TV, but she is coming across to me personally like she's a self-centered person. I don't know if this is her personal feelings or this is just the character she's trying to portray on TV, but honestly, I'm not liking it. I like the Becky Lynch from 2018, 2019. That was Becky Lynch I enjoyed watching. Seth Rollins, I'm not liking him either. I think he's doing excellent matches. His matches have been outstanding. His match with Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble was awesome. That was probably the best match on the entire card. Um, and the other, his other matches he's had has been pretty decent, but his character is just absolutely annoying. It's not I like the authority Seth Rollins heel. I do not like this character. This character laughs too much. He is beyond belief annoying with his laughter. It really is just mind-numbingly dumb. The guy laughs at everything. There's nothing to be happy about, especially if you work in WWE. There's nothing to be happy about. Rachel Book says, please read what I said because that's what I said on truth, to be truthful. And that's not what I mean. I only watch AEW if all the WWE wrestlers go to AEW and WWE's no more. Then that's when I'll watch AEW. Well, like I said in that last comment you said, Rachel, I don't see that AEW is going to be able to fit all those people. They'd go bankrupt. They might as well just sell off their company as well along with WWE. So I don't know, man. I really don't. But hey, you like WWE? By all means, I'll be on here. I'll shit on it. I'll be respectful and I'll tell the truth if it was good. You can't lie. I mean, WrestleMania Backlash, I was perfectly honest. I couldn't believe I came on here and was able to say that I watched a good show. I did watch a good pay-per-view, but at the end of the day, I'm going to admit this. If you're following WWE, and you're watching it week to week, they're not doing what AEW is doing. They're giving you different matches. They're giving you storyline builds. The only thing that WWE is really worth watching is their pay-per-views. So you only watch them once a month. They'll give you the rest of the background story that led to the match. And to be quite frank with you guys, I think their video packages of how they got there seem a lot more impactful than watching the shows week to week. That's pretty sad. Um, Pretty good on their production team though, but at the end of the day, I don't see them, doing anything that is getting them any benefit for a week to week televised show. They're more like a New Japan Wrestling type of promotion at this point because they're not telling any stories. They're just putting matches together, having one good show once a month. Sometimes, if they're lucky, if they put a lot of effort into it, they did that for Backlash. They did that for WrestleMania 38 on night one. Night two was a less effort show. They didn't put as much effort as they did in night one. And that's all there is to it. So that's the way I feel about WWE at this point in time. If they can start producing week to week shows that people are going on air that continue to follow this product because they actually make money off of it to review, and they're telling me and the rest of its audience that they are improving week to week, then I might actually consider bringing it back to the channel and doing it week to week and cut out some of the other uh days that I'm working on my videos week to week and cut them out and just do Raw and SmackDown, AEW and Rampage, AEW Dynamite and Rampage. So if they can go ahead and start producing good weekly televised shows, I may actually go back doing it because I enjoy what it does for the channel. I'm not gonna lie, WWE does the best viewership on this channel. I just cannot sit through doing this for free and being aggravated by it. And this is the last comment, Rachel Buck, I'm going to read. I need to get through the rest of this review, and then I'll go right back to the comments in the chat. So if anyone has any other comments after Rachel Buck, they're going to have to wait until I'm done. Anyway, Rachel Buck says, they might do Austin Theory versus John Cena at SummerSlam. What do you think about that? And also, Austin Theory wants to put his title on the line against John Cena at SummerSlam. What do you think? I think that's an excellent match. Austin Theory going up against John Cena, I think they would produce a hell of a match. Personally, I kind of feel like I'd be watching Seth Rollins versus John Cena in 2015. I think that's the kind of quality match we'll see from both of these guys. And I think Austin Theory will deliver. I have nothing against Austin Theory. I think he's an excellent talent. That selfies taking crap and smiling all the time, it's got to go, man. It's not needed. They need Evolve Austin Theory. Austin Theory and Evolve was amazing. He was cocky. He had all the personality and charisma in the world. So personally, I think that's the kind of Austin Theory we need to see in WWE if they want to get Austin Theory over. But yeah, I would love to see that match, Rachel. That would be awesome. CEO of Berserk says WWE pay-per-views aren't looking too great because there's no Universal or WWE Championship. Yeah, I have to agree with you, but that WrestleMania Backlash show was actually good. I can't lie. That was a good show, and I sat here and told you guys in the video that I couldn't believe that I'm saying this is a good show. I was figuring I was going to be able to shit all over it, but I can't, man. It was a good show. Um, it had its, downside of things. There was some negative things. This show wasn't perfect either. If anyone wants to come on here and say AEW did a perfect show, you're crazy. This show shouldn't have went, uh, you know, almost 5 hours straight. That's insane. It's a pay-per-view. It only needed 8 to 9 matches to do a 4-hour show. That's it. That's all they needed to do. They didn't need 13 matches on a card. That's nuts. That's overkill. That's WWE type of mentality when it comes to the match card. It's not the way to do things. It tires out your crowd. Good thing they were in Las Vegas, because Las Vegas, the show ended I think at like 12:30. So they were leaving the arena at 9:30 p.m. So they had a lot of other time left over in their day to enjoy. They could have gone to the casinos, gambled some money, won millions of dollars. Who the fuck knows? Or lost all their money that they came with. But point being is they had a lot more time on their hands. Us on the East Coast, if you're on the East Coast, you don't. It's 1:34 right now on my time, and there's nothing you got to do after this. After I'm done with this, what do you guys think I'm gonna do? Play video games and watch movies? I'm gonna probably go to sleep. So I'm a little upset about that. I was figuring I'd have some other stuff I could do before I go to sleep, but fortunately, I care about the channel too much to stiff you guys. I wouldn't want to do that. That you guys have been very supportive on this channel, and I greatly appreciate the love and the support I get here. But anyway, let's get into the rest of the matches. I will get to you, Daniel, in just a moment, so just bear with me. I'm going to get through some of these matches, and then I'll move on to your comment. Jade Cargill defended her AEW TBS Women's Championship against Anna Jay. Jade Cargill looked good. I got to admit, she was kicking some ass. Unfortunately, it wasn't super great. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was an average match. It was okay, but it wasn't nothing special. The special part about this match was after the match was over. Because guess what? We had Chris Statlander standing alongside with Anna Jay. and Jade Cargill with her baddies with Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they had some random video entrance music, and then out came Athena, formerly known as Amber Moon. That crowd popped like a fucking son of a bitch. I mean, that was insane. That was an amazing pop for a woman who really hasn't had a whole lot of, she didn't really have a lot going for her coming out of WWE. I mean, and this crowd knew who she was. They were excited to see her and they went ape stick. Excellent, excellent stuff right there. That was very entertaining to watch. I'm glad for her. I hope she has a very successful career. I hope they find something for her in the women's division. They're going to need it because the women's division right now is not all that brightful. They're not that great. They're okay. They're building somewhat with their talent, with some of their hires. But they need to take advantage of those performers that they've hired and really make them into something. And that's really all I have to say at this point in time about the women's division in AEW. House of Black and the Death Triangle. This match was fun for what it was, but again, this was even worse than the tag team match with the Bucks and the Hardys. This match went it was a little bit barbaric. The referee did not take any control of this match. Everybody was in the match. It felt like I was watching a luchador tag team match. I was kind of like sitting there going, did I miss something? Is this a luchador tag team rules match or something? I don't understand what the fuck's going on here. Now, it could have made sense if they would have said that initially when the match started, but I didn't hear anything about that. So if you guys know anything about it, let me know in the chat or in the comments down below. If you happen to catch this video after this video after the review or after the live stream ends, and let me know because I did not catch anything of the rules being a luchador tag team matchup of any kind. But apparently the referee just let it go. He didn't give a shit. Just let them kill each other. Brody Lee did a freaking move. He weighs like 275 pounds, I believe, maybe close to 300. Guy does a freaking uh crazy stunt trying to jump from out of the ring onto the floor, and he cracked the back of his neck onto the side apron of the ring. I'm like, dude, is the guy okay or is he dead? I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? This is nuts. I was surprised by that spot. That was insane. But the House of Black won the match, and they walked away victorious. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was, a fast-paced match. The crowd was highly interested in it. But at the end of the day, for my own personal feelings, there was no story really being told here. It's just fast-paced, quick, 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 and doing a bunch of spots and crazy ass stunts, and that was basically it. There was no control by the referee. Referee did a terrible job. I believe it was the same referee who did the all three multi-men matches, actually. um, so hold on one second, guys. Sorry, guys. I had to step away for a moment. My roommate needed my help with something real quick. Yeah, you're probably saying 1:30 at night and your roommate needs your help with something. What the fuck? Yeah, it was just a simple little favor I had to do. Um. Anyway, uh, shit. Where were we? Yeah, we were talking about the match with the referee. I think he was in the Young Bucks match, the triple threat tornado, the triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles, and so forth. So the referee that was refereeing these matches was not doing the best job possible. He really wasn't taking control at all, and it kind of sucked in my book. But I will say this: the match was good for what it was, but as a six-man tag team match that could tell a good story, not so much. Julia Hart did make up for that by getting into the match and turning heel and joining the House of Black. That was pretty fucking cool. I got to give her credit for that. All right, now the Owen Hart finals. Both of these matches were great. The women's match was better than the men's, as surprisingly crazy as that might sound. Yes. Brett Baker and Ruby Soho are great together. They have great chemistry. They tell good stories. Ruby Soho sells injuries very well. I don't know if she was suffering from an injury during this match, but she was excellent. This match between these two was probably better than their first match for the world titles, for the women's world title. Um, this match I'm giving a 4 out of 5 stars. I might be kind of pushing it a little bit, but I don't care. This match was really entertaining to watch. Adam Cole defeated Samoa Joe, and by the way, Brett Baker did win, and Adam Cole won, beating Samoa Joe by hitting here's the boom, and he got the 1, 2, 3 on that. So yeah, that was pretty good. The American Top Team with Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Paige Van Zant, and Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Tay Conte. I didn't like this match at all. This match sucked. I give it a 2 out of 5 stars. American Top Team win the match. Later on in the show, they did have whatchamacallit. They did have Scorpio Sky challenged by Dante Martin. That is going to be a very fun match to watch. If you guys miss it, you are really screwing yourselves. This is a match I would definitely catch. Either record the show whenever it's taking place or watch it live, because this match is going to be explosive. I think it's going to be outstanding. Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin was a quick little 10-minute match. Kyle O'Reilly won that match. This match was okay. I mean, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty solid, entertaining matchup, but it was what it was, I guess you could say. Thunder Rosa defeated Serena Deeb. This match, I wasn't paying attention that much to this match. This match didn't really have a whole lot of build going into it. Thunder Rosa did win and retained her title. I wasn't surprised by that whatsoever. Um, I mean, I don't know. I really don't even know how to, score this match. This match I didn't really pay much attention to. It didn't really catch my interest all that much. I think I'd have to go back and watch the whole match again just to give you guys a fair rating. But since I'm here live and whatnot, I'll just give you guys a rating. I'm going to give it an average match score. I'm going to say it was a 3 out of 5, and that's it. I've already went over the Anarchy in the Arena match. I'm not going to go over it again. The Jungle Boy Luchasaurus tag team title 3-way match, that was fun. It was a fun match. A lot of back and forth taking place. There were moments of everyone being in the match turning it into a tornado tag match, but at the end of the day, this was fun. This was a fun tag team match. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars easily. The Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus retain the tag team titles. Who's going to defeat them for those tag team titles at this point? I'm not sure of yet, because right now I don't see their tag team division being a major focal point outside of the Hardy Boys being the only team right now that's even being looked at as a major priority in the tag team division. So I'm not sure yet. So we'll have to wait and see how things build up. And then the main event. CM Punk defeats Hangman Page for the World Heavyweight Championship, which takes 25 minutes and 40 seconds. Folks, there ain't nothing to be debated about. This match was the best match on the entire card. There ain't no way in hell anyone outdid them in this match. This match was the best on the card, the probably match of the year candidate, possibly. In my book, between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, two matches they had, and this, I think those are your three big matches you can say are probably the match of the year candidates. Outside of that, nothing else really stuck out at me that's really mind blowing or anything. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, I'd say that's possibly a good match of the year candidate, despite the ending being the way it was. But other than that, I mean, there's really nothing that's gone on in wrestling that really blows me away. I mean, Hangman Page and Adam Cole, that Revolution, I mean, that was a good match, but it ain't no match of the year candidate. The story wasn't as good as CM Punk and Hangman Page. Come on. You got to be out of your fucking mind. Um, but bottom line, I think that that match is a 5 out of 5 stars. I may sound like Dave Meltzer here and go, "Oh, that's a 8 out of 5, 8 out of 5 stars." You know, I'm not going that crazy, but I am saying it was almost a picture perfect match. I'm going to say 5 out of 5 anyway because um this match was amazing. I loved it. I thought it was excellent, and not because CM Punk won. I would have been perfectly fine even if Hangman Page won the fucking match. Hell, I was even leaning more towards Hangman Page winning. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter which one won. This match was amazing either way. So that's just my feelings on that. Let me go ahead and read off Daniel's two comments, and then I guess I will close up shop here unless you guys want to talk with me any further from here on out. So Daniel says, I miss how good Seth used to be when he turned heel in 2014. I am in total agreement with you. I stated earlier, he was doing the best work then and being dominant until he had the injury in 2015. Yeah, when he left in 2015 with that injury, he really was not the same Seth Rollins that I've grown to like. But you know, it is what it is. They want to take every good element about Seth Rollins that he used to have as a heel away from him to make him this heel. Hey, that's their business, I guess. Continue on saying that that was the best Seth Rollins. This was even before WWE went downhill. I miss this Seth. He says he misses that type of Seth Rollins. 2015, they were in the starts of going downhill, and they showed that they were turning into crap in 2010. That's really when I started noticing that they had their kind of ups and downs. And I was feeling like, what the fuck am I watching? Type of feeling. But it didn't make me want to just totally disregard the product like I do now. By 2000 and I'd say just before the pandemic, I'd say that's when I started to completely disregard WWE as a serious thing at all. I particularly did not care for the product after that. But yeah, I have to agree. Seth Rollins from 2014 to 2015 was fucking amazing. I mean, remember that time the night after SummerSlam, he fucking put Dean Ambrose, John Moxley's skull through a fucking uh, ce- uh, cement block. That was fucking cool as shit. Even though, yeah, it wasn't realistic. I mean, nobody could make a fucking cement block explode by driving their face through it. Their face would just be badly fucking messed up, and their cheekbone would have been broken. But still, the effect of seeing that thing break the way it did and him going face first and being unconscious, then eventually leading to that Hell in a Cell match they had in 2014 that kind of reminded me a little of like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker type of shit, especially with Bray Wyatt coming in at the end was fucking cool as hell. Um, and led to a new storyline being built between Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that kind of stuff. I have to agree with you on that, but I was noticing there was something going on internally, especially when CM Punk left. That was really a shocker to me that they would drive him away like that. That blew me out of. I was like completely dumbfounded by that. Daniel says, also, I did think Athena slash Amber Moon's debut tonight was a surprise. Not gonna lie, I thought she'd be on Impact or something else. I don't know. I really don't. I wasn't surprised. I figured she was gonna go to AEW. Um, Based on the fact AEW could really use her services in the women's division, and Sasha Banks would be the next in line. Sasha Banks would be great for that women's division, 100% in the AEW. She's still under contract though with WWE. She can't do anything right now until she figures out some way legally to get out of the contract. But at this point, she's stuck with WWE until otherwise she can figure out a way to get out of it. But that's pretty much it, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, elbow drop that like button right now. Forever hold your peace. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course. And also, if you'd like to leave comments down below on this video, please go ahead and do so. And I will definitely comment back to you on that. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in, catching this live, and for the people that catch it afterwards. I greatly appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. One last thing, Daniel also left one more comment, and then we will head on out here. Sasha was one of the best in the women's division. Now they're doing her wrong, along with Naomi, and I'm sure they're going to do something after their contracts end. Yeah, hands down, Daniel. I totally agree with you on that. And I already stated that Sasha Banks will be out of the WWE very soon. I think she deserves a lot better than what she's getting. And MJF wants WWE so bad. Hey, go over there, man. They'll love you. They'll treat you like dog shit eventually. And don't worry, Cody Rhodes will be in that same exact situation because nobody's safe. Hell, not even the McMahons are safe in their own damn company. Isn't that fucking tragic or what? Anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you had a good time. For the people that catch it, catch this after the live stream is over, I again thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great night, guys. Speak to you later. Bye.